gentlemen, welcome to a special magical performance by the great Toiley. Tonight's performance is brought to you by the Toiley T Paper plush. Today is your final day to get the Toiley T Paper plush at thetoiley.com/plush. And now, please welcome the great Toiley. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen and lovers of magic anywhere. Now, I want to tell you, I am not an ordinary magician. I will not be pulling any rabbits out of any hats. You mean you don't need me? No, I don't need you. You can get out of here. Gee, thanks for letting me know. You're welcome, Frank. Sorry about that. Tonight, for you, I will now levitate myself, never before seen. Sure, you've seen magicians levitate their assistants, but never themselves. But here's what I need from you. I need you to, in the chat, start typing the word levitate. Start typing the word levitate in the chat. Here we go. I will now levitate. Type the word levitate in the chat. Levitate, 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 levitate. It's working. I am levitating. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's working. I'm levitating. Oh no, I'm getting too close to the ceiling fan. Oh, ow, ow, turn off the ceiling fan. Ouch. Oh God, ow, ow, ow. Oh, take it away, Kelly and Sid. Oh my gosh. Ow.
All right, we've lost Toiley. Ladies and gentlemen, the unusual artistry of Sid Croft.
You are so friggin' talented. And you service the whole world for 7 days a week, morning and night. So keep up the good work, Toiley. Today, a legend is coming on, David Copperfield. And there are no, honestly, there are no words in the English dictionary to express how honored I am to have David on my show. You know, he just blows all of us away. Come on. I mean, making the Statue of Liberty disappear? Are you kidding? And walking through the Wall of China? Oh, come on. I mean, yes, it's unbelievable. And I am so honored to have my friend on. Ladies and gentlemen, David Copperfield. And from Las Vegas, everybody. And wait until what a treat is going to happen any second now when David comes on, because there's David. Hey, thank you so much.
How you guys doing?
We're doing great. I don't know if Toiley's trick was that great.
It was great. All those sheets came down and formed this paper thing. You know,
that's right.
Down, magically reformed. Luckily, it was not used before.
David, I got to tell you something. This is like a dream that you're bringing the whole audience all over the world into your museum. You know, oh, talk about blow you away. David, I mean, is this the first time that the world has, you've given us all the opportunity? Because this is your museum, you know, and it's, you always have special people going through, your friends.
It's the first time with Sidney Croft.
On top of that, you took magic and brought it into the adult world. And I took puppetry, the oldest form, the two oldest forms in, you know, show business or the world of entertainment. We both brought it into the adult world because magic, you know, like we talked about this, it was just a magician in your backyard having, you know, doing a couple of tricks at a birthday party. It's just amazing. And I've been watching you all these years because
Like Santa Claus.
yeah, but you were born in 56. And in 57 I played Vegas with Judy Garland, you know.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. You were just 1 year old. It's amazing to me.
How was that, Sid? Where'd you play with Judy Garland?
It was at the oh, well, wait a minute.
The Hara?
No.
Flamingo?
Flamingo. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I played there many, many times with a lot of, you know, Pearl Bailey and the Andrews sisters and the Mills brothers.
What was Judy's closing song? Did she set Somewhere Over the Rainbow as the closer?
Oh, of course. She sat on the edge of the stage and cried.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a book.
Every performance.
You know, Charles Grodin, I think, is not with us anymore. Charles Grodin had a book I love, and he talks about how he went to see Judy Garland on Broadway and came backstage. I love this, is fantastic. And he said, I'm going to come back tomorrow. And Judy Garland said, no, do not come back tomorrow. Promise me. You're not going to, I'll give you your money back. Do not come back tomorrow. Because, you know, she was very calculated. Her performance, she knew where to cry, where to laugh, and all that stuff was all part of the performance. And she didn't see that, to spoil it, to see that, you know, those natural moments were really set moments. So when you went to see her, would you watch her show? Did you see it after?
I toured with her for a year and a half. It was her first national tour. Yeah, she stood in the wings and watched me because she followed my act. Because my act drove her crazy. Because when you operate a marionette, you have to be a half a beat early, because it takes a half a beat for it to take, and you know, so you're on beat. And that drove her nuts. But she was so fascinated with how I got to do that. When my act was over, they didn't even announce her. They would just play a piece of her overture, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and she walked out. And that's the way, you know, amazing performer.
And who was it? A voiceover that introduced you? You're part of the show? A voiceover?
Always. I never allowed an MC to walk on stage. I thought that was corny. You know, direct from Radio City Music Hall, let's give them a big hand. I hated that, even as a little kid. So it was my first agent in New York when I was 15 that gave me the name Sid Croft. I was 15 years old.
And during Judy Garland time, let's go back to that. How long was your performance in that show? 20 minutes? About
18 to 20 minutes.
I guess. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
18 minutes.
Yeah.
And Judy, how much time did Judy do?
She never did more than an hour. That was a lot. That's why she had a supporting act. You know, when she was on Broadway at the Palace Theater, I didn't do that gig with her. That was years later.
Husband at the time?
Sid Luft.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's another show. All right. Okay, let's talk about me now. What do you want to talk about me?
Oh, hey.
Me.
Oh,
I'm joking. I'm thinking about you, honestly.
No, I got to tell you something. First of all, I know that you took Jennifer Lopez and you didn't cut her in half. You cut her in 6 pieces and then put that beautiful, beautiful body back together.
I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember that. I remember Morgan Fairchild.
You don't remember Jennifer Lopez?
Jennifer Lopez, of course.
Of course. No, you cut Jennifer Lopez.
They say so. It must be true. I don't know.
And what are you talking about? What about Taylor Swift? You made her disappear.
Appear. I made her appear.
Up here.
Right.
Oh, I thought.
Because
I thought.
Here, I would have got a song out of the deal.
And not only that, all of her fans that are still trying to get tickets to her concerts really would be pissed off at you if you made her disappear, don't you think?
She's very, very smart. She's amazing. Yeah, for sure. My kids went to see her here in Vegas on the trip, and they loved the show. So it's good for her.
And David, I mean, your career. You know, I saw you on Broadway, and I couldn't get a ticket because you broke all records on Broadway. And tell them who directed your show.
Francis Ford Coppola. But I did 4 shows a day. So 4 times 7 is what? What's 4 times 7?
Oh,
28?
I don't know. I'm
yes,
bad at
28.
28. 4 shows a day on Broadway? Well, God, how is that possible? No one's ever done that. No one. I mean, the norm on Broadway is a matinee on Wednesday and Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. So it's 8 shows.
Why? Because the demand was huge, right? I had to call Jimmy Needlander to get a ticket. And so I was sitting, I paid for it. So you probably bought that shirt because I always paid for tickets wherever I saw you. I saw you at Caesars when you flew without, there were no cables or wires or, I mean, everybody lost their minds.
It was pretty good.
What do you mean pretty good? I also hear that you're going to make the moon disappear. How? What the hell is that?
Don't believe anything.
I love the moon. It's not happening.
I'm going to put your face on Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
No, you are?
Yes.
And people are going to say, who the
cousins.
hell is that old guy? I mean, you'll have to.
They're all old guys.
Yeah, but I mean, they're famous.
I think you have the face for Mount Rushmore. Do you agree out there? Send me some hearts. If you think Sid Croft would look great on Mount Rushmore next to the old Teddy Roosevelt, so I think.
Yeah, but
be great.
David Copperfield, I have a mirror, and it is frightening. I used to look good, but
you still look good. But by the way, on the Mount Rushmore, we're going to put 2 slits, and it's going to talk like this. You know, so
really?
I'm
not a ventriloquist. Tell everybody that's how you started. Nobody even knows that. And tell them, it shouldn't come from me, that you sucked as a ventriloquist. You couldn't keep your mouth shut, right?
No, I started, I love puppetry. You know that, obviously.
Oh, my God, so yeah.
That fascinated me. Part of this museum is all puppets. Because that really, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Paul Winchell. Did you meet Paul Winchell?
Of course I did. Yeah. I could never work with him because they would never put us both. You know, he did the Ed Sullivan. He only did the Ed Sullivan show like 4 times. I did it 2 times. I was fired the 2nd time during rehearsal because Ed Sullivan didn't like a skeleton that I did.
But too much.
You know.
Him.
Yeah. No, he was a bizarre man, but it was the #1 show. The whole world, or, you know, amazing. Sunday night, 8 o'clock.
Did you ever meet Winces?
I'm sorry?
Did you ever meet Senor Winces?
Oh, yes. Many, many times.
Can you see why he was on the Ed Sullivan show more than anybody else? You know why?
Because he was great.
No. The reason was he lived on the block next to there, and whenever there's a problem with the show or somebody didn't show up, he just comes down the block and do fill in. That's why. And right by the Stephen Colbert, show is that by the Ed Sullivan show, the Sullivan Theater.
Hey, everybody, have you been to Vegas? Because when you go to Vegas, you better listen to me. You go see David Copperfield. It is just worth flying to Vegas and seeing David's show. I mean, I know this, I always use this word, you're going to blow me away, and it blows me away. But to see his show, oh my God, it's unbelievable. But talk about a sign, a David Copperfield sign on the side of the building. It's a skyscraper, and it says David Copperfield. For how many years have you been there?
21, I think, 21 years. And before that, I was 15 years.
7 nights a week.
Yeah.
And then
week, 15 shows.
Yeah. And then you take off, I think you tell us every 3 weeks, and tell them where you go. Oh my God, you got to hear this, everybody.
I have a resort that I started, which is 11 islands in the Bahamas. That's pretty amazing. It's funny that I go there and I just work on new ideas for the island or for the show. So I'm always working with stuff, and I love it. You know, we just finished a cave. There's a number of caves now. There's a cave there that we're making the Cave of Wishes. You've heard of the Trevi Fountain?
Of course.
You've heard of
I've been trying to find the Fountain of Youth.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
We have the Cave of Wishes, and you can wish in the cave and magical things take place. So we've been working on that this week here. We're going to bring all this stuff there. So that's kind of cool. And we've got a secret village. It's pretty amazing. What would you do if you were a magician and had a bunch of islands? That's what I'm doing. So it's been a lot of fun.
But it's not 11 islands that the tourists come to. No.
It's our private islands. People rent it out and charter it like they charter a yacht. You know, it's sort of like what you did with your house. Around you, you have this amazing kind of, I wouldn't call it an experience. You live in an experience. So,
Hey,
I mean, you know, you have to go.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
And everybody out there, David came with, his beautiful, beautiful daughter. He has 3 children. And Chloe, his wife, oh my God. And they flew in just to see me and spent a whole day here. What a great experience.
Good fresh food, personally picked from the farmer's market.
Yeah.
By Sid.
Every Sunday, this morning. I'm there at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, beautiful, fresh food, amazing thing. And just around you. Have you ever done a tour of your place for your audience?
I do it every week. Every week I just show them one more place. This is that wall behind me. If you really look close, it's the road up to my castle. Because this, to me, my house is my castle. And so, you know, see the little castle over my head? But also, on the other side, I've got to tell you about David's book. Okay, listen to me. I'm not Oprah Winfrey, you know, plugging a book.
And you get one.
But,
and you get one.
No, you all get one. I'll tell you why. Because we all love to have treasures, and we idolize and we look forward to owning a treasure. Okay, when your book came out, I didn't ask you, you know, you were really busy doing all these interviews, because David and myself, we talk a couple of times every week because we're working on something, but we can't tell you what it is right now. But anyway, it's definitely, you know, again, going to blow your mind. Okay, so I went down to Barnes and Noble, you know, our biggest mall here.
Bookstore.
But Barnes and Noble is in down on off of Fairfax. What's the name of that? Whatever. The mall where the Ringling Brothers went in 1945. That's where we set up. It was all woods then, and now
The Grove.
The Grove, and now it's the Grove. Beautiful, beautiful. I walk into Barnes and Noble. That's the #1 Barnes and Noble in Los Angeles, and right up front is a huge display of David Copperfield's book, and I got it the first day. I went down there, and Cole, you know, with a mask and all that stuff, and Kelly, you know, drove me down there. Oh my God. I got to tell you something. You must, because the whole world, you can travel anywhere in the world and just say the word magic, and everybody is so fascinated and has been from the beginning of time. And so David's book has captured, you know, magic and something that we are just so we we long to know how it's all done, and and how it's all put together, and everything that David Copperfield has done has mystified the world, absolutely. But please, if you own the David Copperfield book, tell them that I've got it on this side of me. Yeah, the history of magic.
Actually, it's all of this museum. It's
Yes.
highlights of the museum to show people who don't. This is a private museum because there's so many secrets nearby. Nothing's behind glass, per se. So we wanted to share all these stories. The only reason I'm interested in all these treasures here is because, not because of having stuff. It's about the stories that exist, and it's really remarkable. It's just incredible stuff. That's very.
Tell them a little of just a few little things that is in this.
Houdini's water torture cell, and his substitution trunk, and his milk can, his bathtub from his house. We've got his books. Half of his library is in the Library of Congress, and the other half I have. So I have half of Houdini's library. There are other people like Thurston Keller, Robert Houdin, incredible, stories. And anyway, people that I was inspired by. And because it was about inspiration, I have a whole other section about puppetry, because that's how I began. Wasn't good at it, but I loved it, and used to love the Ed Sullivan Show, watching Topo Gigio.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
he was on hundreds of times. Yeah,
but
talking to Ed Sullivan, actually,
and kind of humanizing him. He was a bit like staid and stiff, but
that's
with
right.
that puppet, that little thing, he brought his personality out.
And
got to hug him.
what about you? Have Charlie McCarthy,
Many
right?
of them.
Yeah. Do you? Oh my God.
In fact,
and I got to tell you, I mean, if you're lucky enough to go through, it's a block building, many floors of just. It's like the tour takes at least. David does it personally. It's 2 hours. 2 hours, and you just.
Can you see everything in 2 hours?
No, you see it quickly. Yeah.
but 2 hours you feel 2 hours. It depends on the audience. They really have amazing interest, but hour and a half, 2 hours, and kind of rattling.
And then everybody, I know you're wondering, on the other side is an incredible Blue. His name is Blue 32, and tell us about Blue.
Well, because of my inspiration of all the puppetry and stuff, and because of Topo Gigio and Paul Winchell and all that, and because I have no talent at this, I created an animatronic puppet that I don't have to operate. It's all very, it's very incredible,
amazing
thing that it's very natural, lifelike, and so forth. So, and I've never done two-person comedy per se. I never did that thing. The idea of back and forth. Of course, when you do a television show, you'll have a guest star with you, and that was comedy, two-person comedy. But for a half hour, I do a puppet thing in my show for a half hour. Amazing. And I finally got to be pretty good.
Well, I mean, give me a break.
The character is called Blue 32. It's an alien. He reunites me with my father, who's not with us anymore. There's spaceships and dinosaurs, and it's a very spectacular show at the MGM Grand. I do it 15 times a week.
Hey, David, you also, you had many injuries doing some of your spectacular, making planes disappear and buildings and the Statue of Liberty. Oh, I've been trying most of my life to try and figure out how the hell did he do that?
There's a lot of theories on the internet, and a lot of theories I put out. People think that somebody's exposing me correctly, but actually I'm the one that secretly put those false. I should be a politician.
Oh, please, would you? Would you? Oh my God!
I do the same.
You know how many presidents I have been with on Earth?
What do you mean been with?
I mean,
what do you mean been with?
I don't know.
Okay, this show is now very interesting. What have you been doing with other presidents?
On Earth? I mean, do you know how many presidents have been president since I've been on Earth? Does that make more sense? Shit, I've been around since Lincoln was the president. I didn't see him get shot or anything like that. Yeah. But, boy,
yeah,
I've seen it all.
How was
What's
FDR?
FD.
Franklin?
Well,
Delano Roosevelt.
we used to listen to him on radio. Yeah. It was amazing. It was just amazing. He always, I think, once a week, she talked to us. Yeah. And yeah, she was great. And we'd all gather around our little wooden radio. And when I was a kid, my favorite show was at 11 o'clock Saturday morning, and it was called Let's Pretend.
Huh. Who did that show?
It was just, it came from Canada.
Story.
I had a little crystal radio, and I took 4 boards and nailed them to the corners of my bed, and I threw a sheet over like a tent, and my mom let me have, it just came out, Ritz Crackers came out in 1938, I think it was.
Sure.
And my mom let me put some peanut butter, just a 4 is all I was allowed to have.
4 Ritz crackers?
Ritz.
4 Ritz crackers and peanut butter.
And peanut butter. They were expensive, you know, and I always wanted the most expensive candy, and my dad said, I don't know why you want that, you know. Lifesavers. Lifesavers was a nickel, 5 cents. And my dad, yeah. And it came in cherry and you know, and pineapple, and then later they just mixed the different flavors, and it was 5 cents. And he said,
did they have wintergreen at that time?
No, no, they didn't have anything like that. Yeah,
wintergreen life.
No, they had orange and lime, you know, and cherry. I think those were the famous. And my dad said, for a penny, you can go to the candy store with all the candy in those bottles, those beautiful bottles.
How about wax
and
lips?
You could get all the wax lips and, you know, a lot of sugar, just total sugar. And for 1 penny, they would fill a whole paper bag. Wow. And it would last you all week, or if you were a bad kid, you'd eat it all at once.
I was
but
a kid.
You were a good kid?
Bad kid.
You were?
You know what's fantastic? Do you remember Baby Aspirin? I think it was Johnson & Johnson Baby Aspirin. Was it? Anyway,
yeah.
It tasted so good. The taste was amazing, the orange flavor. They were little tiny orange things.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it made you numb for the day. I mean, wouldn't a baby aspirin? Well, it took the pain away.
Yeah, but I remember loving the flavor so much that I had more than I should.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, bad. A bad kid.
Okay. No, honestly, I heard that you were working on making the moon disappear. Come on, tell us the truth. Or is that just a rumor?
I'm working on lots of things. Who told you that? Who told you that stuff?
I don't know. You know, I talked to quite a few people.
A lot of people love you, Sid.
Huh?
I'm working on a lot of stuff. Yeah. Who knows?
Somebody had a question for you, David. They wanted to know, Cindy Bryden, she wanted to know, has your show changed since COVID?
You know, I was, the show really changed like right after COVID, because I was one of the first shows to reopen here. And we set up protocols to keep everybody safe. You know, Purelling everything and not touching things. We had a whole system that really everybody kind of copied, to be honest. But a way so the audience would feel safe when it was in that moment of, you know, we were just, everything was shut down, obviously. So we had to kind of adapt, and we kind of set kind of a standard of we would spray the air in between, during the show with disinfectant and stuff. So We did all that. That may not be what you mean, but the show's transforming, little by little transforms. But the show is like a Broadway show. It takes many, many years to perfect each illusion. And, you have to invent new technology all the time to create things, even before the music, even before the lighting and the music and the story. The technology has to be brand new each time. So I'm having to build a new piano for every song, invent a new piano for every song. So it's a gradual process. We're working on new things all the time, and people love the show.
That's my act. I was always working on it, because puppetry is like magic. Magicians have their secrets, and puppetry, they have their secrets. So I'm a kid that knew nothing about puppetry, so I had to invent. I went left all the time. I'll always go left because everybody goes right. And I did things, even when I did my act on ice skates. Sonia Henney, she was the first one to win the gold medal. And I was in the Sonia Henney show next to Radio City Music Hall. It was a Broadway show. It ran a year. There were 150 people in the cast. And Sonia Henney, again, like Judy Garland, said, how the hell do you do that? How do you dance on your blade? Because my act moved. I covered a Radio City Music Hall stage. Can you imagine puppets at Radio City? Hey, I did the Hollywood Bowl one night with Johnny Green and the Philharmonic, and the only reason that I got the gig is because I had a ballerina, and my music, Henry Mancini's arranger wrote my act. The music was better than the whole act, because musicians would always say, oh God, when are you going to get booked back? We love playing your act, because it was so incredible, because I didn't talk for the puppets or anything like that. It was all music. But, it takes a long...
I have a question for you, Sid. I'm going to cut off your story, but I want to know, how many times did you play Radio City Music Hall?
Oh, just once.
So,
yeah.
How did that feel? I mean, it's such a giant room. There's no video.
No, you know what they do for a single act like that? That beautiful grand curtain. They just bring it down and bring the stage down to focus. Those are the days when now you go to concerts and you're in the bleeding nose section, and they've got everything on video. 2 big screens or 3 screens or sometimes 4 screens or whatever. Those were not the days. Me at the Hollywood Bowl, what does that seat? 20,000 or 18,000, whatever, a puppet act. And then we came back to the Hollywood Bowl for one night. It was Sid and Marty Krofft at the Hollywood Bowl, and we did the Puff and Stuff show and the Brady Bunch. They did the second half, and
you produced that.
Oh yeah, well it was, yeah, of course.
Could Florence Henderson sing?
Oh my God. Whatever show we did, if you really do a little research, every variety show, don't forget, we also did over 20 specials for all 3 networks. She was always, anytime, we got one of those orders, I wanted her. She delivered. She was so, oh God, what a loss.
How about Maureen McCormick? Could she sing?
Well, now you're putting me in a spot. Yeah.
Marsha.
I love her. No. I love her. After the Brady Bunch became such a big hit, then it was Michael Eisner that got an idea to do a variety show, with them. And we did that. It was the Brady Bunch Hour. And we post it every once in a while. But it goes through the roof. People love that show because it opened up with a swimming pool. I had, Esther Williams.
Right. Sid, what's his name? Gosh, Nick Vanoff had a show called The Big Show.
The Big Show.
Remember?
Yeah, with Sandy Gallen as the host.
No, not Sandy Gallen. It was a bunch of hosts that rotated. But I was on like 6 of the big shows, but it was in the same pool. They're all Esther Williams pools, right?
Yeah.
Pool and the stage and the ice rink, all set up like that. The Big Show, yeah.
Oh, so they're going to sue me?
I think
that was all.
You might.
No, that was all after me. After me, way after me.
I believe you were first, honestly. Yeah.
What?
You were first with this pool and the thing.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, it's like HR Puffin stuff. Where the hell did that idea come from? The Wizard of Oz. Give me a break. And instead of a girl, I had a boy, you know. And she had a dog. I started with a harmonica. I said, that's too old-fashioned. He's the Pied Piper, that little kid. He needs a flute. And everything talked on Living Island. So it was Freddie the Flute, because I like to use the same letter.
Who owns Freddie the Flute now? Freddie the Flute now. Who owns it?
What? You're talking to the creator. I hope.
The original puppet?
Who owns the original puppet?
Oh, the original one? We had an auction.
I'll help.
Because
I'll help you.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Tim Burton. Yeah. It was so crazy, because, I don't know, a message was sent to him in London. He was home. That when you come, that was Benedict Tashian, who's the Tashian books, was at my house, and he said, let's send Tim Burton a message. I didn't have his email. And immediately, Tim responded, sitting in his home, and he said, oh, of course, I'm coming to LA, and I want to come to your house. I knew him, but we never spent any time together. Just hello, and you're wonderful, and hello. Okay, so anyway, he said, I have a friend with me that wants to say hello. And it was Freddie the Flute. Can you believe it? Wow.
It's amazing how,
Tim Burton.
I know. It's amazing how all those concepts and ideas have touched people, right?
Well,
you never know.
Thank you. Yeah.
Talking about me.
This is all about you today, because
I like to hear about you anyway.
No. Because it's a David Copperfield day. Everybody gets a day.
David.
Right.
Yes.
Beverly D'Angelo wants to know, how did you and Sid meet?
Well, we'd
it was
have to.
Gone wrong.
We'd have to. No, I was talking to a great friend of both of us, who owns
Here's the
one
story.
of.
Here's the story. The story is we were both sitting in a movie theater watching the movie Hair. And the star of Hair said, wow. Sid said, I know her. And I said, oh, I want to meet her. And we heard each other, and then we started talking. It's all about you, Beverly.
It is. Beverly, thank you for watching, Beverly. You know who else watches every week? Is Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman. Yeah. And you know who else watches? Anderson Cooper and Katie Couric. I mean, they reached out to me. It's crazy. Watches my show because they hear stories about the 29 years before Puffin stuff and all that other stuff that all of you know and grew up with. Not all of you. And if you don't know who the hell I am, get on the phone, call your mom and your dad, or call your grandpa, your grandma, and just say, Sid Croft, when I do a lecture to young kids at universities and the theater art department, they don't have no clue, but they tell their moms, I'm going to a lecture tomorrow with Sid Croft. Oh my God, I wish I was a fly on the wall. I grew up with, so do that.
You people who went to the World of Sid and Marty Krofft theme park.
In Atlanta.
I,
Yeah.
I was
I know.
Do you remember anything from that?
everything. I remember everything.
What was the most amazing thing to you being there?
The escalator.
It's funny. The escalator is still there. You know, it's CNN.
Yeah.
They took over the building. It's CNN. Every time I would do, tours to promote stuff, it'd be in Atlanta, or I would play the Fox Theater in Atlanta doing shows, and you go to CNN, and that escalator is there, and you think about all of that amazing history that was in that place. You know, the carousel, and the bumper,
the crystal carousel,
and the bumper cars around
there. No, wasn't it? Was a pinball. Pinball.
Yeah.
And you want to know something, David? CNN on their tour, that's all they talk about is the world of Sid and Marty Krofft. I went through it. They didn't even know it was me, and I went through the whole tour. They didn't even know I was standing there. A little of it was bullshit, but they exaggerated. But I didn't correct them.
Exaggeration. What they say?
Huh?
What did they exaggerate?
I don't remember. I live in Hollywood. I exaggerate. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like.
But I went, and a good time, and yeah, interesting. It's a fascinating story. What a great part of that journey. But it goes back to Walt Disney. What did Walt Disney tell you when you were starting out?
No, not when I was starting out. I wrote a letter to Walt Disney in 1940, and he answered me. And I said, the music for Pinocchio just came out. And some kid down the street for Christmas, his parents gave him all the little characters as marionettes. And he said, this is too sissy. You can have it. I don't play with dolls. And so I took my mother's kitchen table, turned it upside down, made a little stage out of it. I don't draw that well, but I made all the scenery with the music. The record just came out. So I wrote Walt Disney and I said, would you give me permission to be able to do this little show in my backyard or wherever? And he said, yeah, but don't ever charge any money. You're not allowed to charge any money, and I'll be watching you. That was in the letter. Okay, flash forward. We're at the Seattle World's Fair with a show called Les Poupées de Paris. Huge hit. It was for adults only. There we go again. It was all puppets. It took 3 months to install. As a matter of fact, I gave David one of the original Les Poupées de Paris marionettes, beautiful, and she was Miss Balloon, right? From the circus, Miss Balloon, yeah, and beautiful, beautiful costumes, and I know it's in his museum, and I'm so honored, and so
you're actually that puppet is next. That puppet is next to Yoda's hand.
Really?
Oh my God! Thank you for that. How cool. Okay, let me finish the story. We're having we came back to do the Jack Parr interview on the Jack Parr show, right? That was before Johnny Carson here in LA from Seattle. The show was a smash in Seattle. And so we were having lunch at the Polo Lounge with Sid Charisse and Tony Martin. And sitting at the next table was Walt Disney. He was there maybe with one other person. I remember the image. And oh my God, he got up and came over to say hello to Sid and Tony. And of course, Tony said, this is the Krofft brothers, Sid and Marty. Oh, he said, and Walt Disney said, I saw you with Judy Garland at the Greek Theater. All the stars in Hollywood went to see Judy Garland. We were there for a whole week. It was only stars in the audience, mostly, all up front, whatever. Okay, so he said, you know, I heard about your show in Seattle. Can I give you some advice? And I looked at Marty, and I wanted to say, what, are you kidding? Walt Disney is going to give us advice. He said, always put your name above everything that you create, because someday it's going to be worth something. Because it said the world famous Croft Theater, it wasn't world famous, it was all bullshit, you know, and using my Sid Croft. I was known, you know, as an act. And so I told my publicist, our publicist here in Hollywood, oh my God, just met Walt Disney. He said, you've got to put your name. And the publicist said, Bill Waters, he publicized Les Poupées. He said, I can sell that so fast. You know, brothers. Oh my God, do you know what that means? Put Marty's name in there, you know. Marty didn't create Les Poupées de Paris. Yeah.
And Walt Disney gave him the same advice
to
Harry.
Really? How do you know? No, it's because David Copperfield, you're amazing. You're just amazing.
So David, we have 10 minutes. Is there anything you want to show us in your museum?
I don't know if I can move the camera, but in the meantime, take questions from the other people.
Okay.
What's Beverly saying?
Well, Beverly just wants to know how you guys met.
We met through Erica Larson, this wonderful human being who just runs the Magic Castle, beautiful, talented, just has this amazing place called Magic Castle with, you know, that her father and her uncle started. So incredible. And then Sid's a friend of.
I'm a real good friend of hers. And one day she said to me, I know you're working on something. Did you ever meet David Copperfield? I said, never. I have gone to see, I loved watching his career from the beginning. That's me. I'm really, really curious. Look at that. Yeah. And so, oh my God, it's on 3 floors. You won't believe it. It's mind-blowing. Okay, so anyway, Erica said, I'm talking to her on the phone. She said, I'm going to call him. And she reached him in Las Vegas. And that's how we met. And I told David a little bit about what my idea was. And David said, I'd like to be on board. Can you imagine David Copperfield? And oh my God, wait until you see. It's coming. It's coming. You know.
Let me see. Here, hold on.
You know it's going to be amazing, and it is. It's the most, I've had a huge career, everybody out there. Huge. I was in vaudeville and burlesque and a circus, you know.
David, Bionic Dave wants to know what magicians alive during your childhood inspired you the most?
One was Rishi Yardi. You can look him up. He was a very talented performer. But here we go. Hold on.
Look at this. Are you kidding, everybody?
Wow.
He's never shown. Oh, that's from Les Poupées de Paris. And you know what? She had tassels with little motors. There's a bra on her because when that show was at the New York World's Fair, the president of the fair made us put bras on the puppets until 5 o'clock. Then we could take all the bras off. Isn't she beautiful?
Name some of this.
You know, she's 65. No, she's more than that. 75 years old, I guess. I don't know, 1964. How old?
What is that, folks? What is that?
Almost 60.
60 years.
Almost.
What
60.
is it?
60 years. Oh,
Davy and Goliath.
oh my God. No way.
It's a small world after all.
Oh my God. No way. Am I dreaming? Kelly, pinch me.
Oh, no, you bruise easy.
Oh, that's true, because I'm old.
Did you know Bill Baird?
What? No. Do I know David Copperfield? Of course I knew Bill Baird. Look at the beautiful style that Bill Baird had. Bill Baird was on Ed Sullivan about 85 times.
Oh.
Look at the beautiful
Are
animation.
those the kind of puppets that were on Sound of Music?
Sound of Music. I auditioned for Sound of Music. Bill Baird got the job. Boy,
you really
was
did
I
audition? That's an amazing story.
I know.
Is that true?
These are the stories in this topic. Yes.
Here is look at I got this guy.
Uh-oh.
This guy.
That's a great. Whose puppet is that?
Who's that?
Davy.
Santa Claus.
That's a death mask, right?
Edgar Bergen.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh my God, David.
Paul Winchell.
We struck gold today, everybody. I mean, come on. David was so kind to, I sort of suggested it to him. I said, when we do our show, would you go? And he really didn't give me an answer, but he told me this morning.
You know Paul Ashley puppets?
Of course.
Paul Ashley.
Of course, yeah. Hey, David, please don't forget that I started as a puppeteer.
Yeah.
And I've been around since 1940. I started working.
What was the very first puppet that you collected that made you think, I'm going to start a collection?
My own puppet.
Your own puppet, your vent figure. Is it there?
Yeah.
That's a doorknob. We don't want to see a doorknob.
You ever hear these guys?
Oh my God, no way.
Let's see what we got here. Hold on. Shit.
Hey, guess what, everybody? I'm going to take my hat off next week. You better watch.
Hold on.
It's your magic trick.
That'll be my magic trick.
See that?
Oh, it's baby David.
Oh my God.
Is that your first one?
Yeah.
You bought that. Where did you buy that? Because that was like.
And I painted the hair black because I wanted to be original.
Was it red before?
Yes. Yes. This is that's a real Charlie McCarthy.
Charlie McCarthy. Edgar Bergen recorded for Le Poupée de Paris before he left us.
Wow.
Charlie McCarthy, yeah. Can you believe, everybody? He was on radio.
It's crazy,
right? From 1937 to 1950 something, because we couldn't see him, so we didn't even know if he kept his lips closed or not. And it was
but the characters
bigger than
are amazing. The characters and the material still hold up.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Really, really great. So,
do you know in 1956, when I came back from Europe,
wow,
I was going to give up show business and become a butler because I wanted to live in a house my whole life.
Okay. Kim R342 wants to know, how often do you go and play in these rooms?
Every day I'm here on the way to work. So I pass by here every day.
It's on how many floors?
Just two.
Yeah.
This case here held the Emancipation Proclamation for 20 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow. No way.
And then it wasn't safe enough for it, so I got a hold of it. And I have all these amazing magic books in here. Incredible. So, pretty cool.
There's lots of horror movies where you have to keep ventriloquist dolls in places like that. Do you have any like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have, yeah. The answer is yes.
And do you want to know something, everybody? Do you know that David Copperfield is the highest earning celebrity in the world? But boy, he has worked his whole life to get there. And he has
That's not true.
given us.
I think a few people have done a little better than me, honestly.
Oh, I can't name anyone.
I can. And you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
Yeah. Please give my love to Chloe, your beautiful, beautiful wife. It was so much fun when you both came down here with your incredible daughter. When you get back from the island, I'm coming to Vegas.
All right.
Yeah.
Promise?
Yes.
Yep,
Hey.
I heard it. It's now in my book. It's official.
Hey, everybody, do you know we've been on for a whole hour? We had a problem getting on and we lost Toiley. Toiley it's a great, great character. Is that the first time you saw him?
Yeah.
Toilet paper. Can you believe it? I got to tell you.
He was very popular during COVID. He
And you know how expensive toilet paper is now? You know, I mean, Medicare doesn't even reimburse me, you know, and they should. Okay, David, thank you so, so much. And wow.
Pleasure.
What an honor. Thank you for showing us.
You're the best.
Really, don't walk but run. Get his book. I mean, I know that most of the stores are sold out. I'm sure they did another printing of it, you know.
Or go to Vegas and see David's show.
And Jim Grant, 15 chances a week. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so
and you'll
much.
meet Blue 32.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, everybody. Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, everybody. Next week, you know, I've had such interesting guests all the time. I'm having Sean James, and he's the celebrity, they call him the celebrity hair genius. I got to tell you, we spend more money on our hair, and he does all the celebrities out there. And I thought, wow, that's going to be so interesting. And I'm going to take my hat off
To him?
and to him and to all of you next week. So, you know, when my hair went gray, you know, I thought, oh wow, you're really getting old. But I'm grateful to be here every single day. And I got to tell you something. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I hope you had a blast today, because I did too. And I'll see you next week. To be continued. How about this? How about this?